Hello everyone, my name is Chloe Beeks, and I've been trying to figure out different schooling options that would be best for my son. I keep leaning more and more towards homeschooling and thinking that it would be the best fit for him. Among primary schooling options in the United States, there may be some really big key benefits to homeschooling. I'm credible to talk about this topic today because I've done a lot of research on the different schooling options and pros and cons, benefits and downfalls, as well as if you choose homeschooling, how to make it as effective as possible. A lot of you might come to a time in your life when you need to make this decision, either for yourself, for your child or children, or someone else may come to you and ask for your advice on this. Whatever it may be, I really hope that you listen up for my details today and learn more about it. I'll be talking about the benefits, the pros, the cons, the downfalls of homeschooling versus public schooling, as well as ways that you can make it as effective as possible for your child. Some of the pros for homeschooling include that it allows for flexibility with your schedule. So you may have a doctor's appointment throughout the day, but with homeschooling, you can do your schooling and teaching at nighttime or like in the evening time. You can really do what best fits your schedule and your needs. You don't just have to take the day off from school. Another really big pro is that the parents are able to completely decide the curriculum. So if the child is moving super fast in a certain subject, you can maybe not spend as much time on that subject or even skip them ahead. But if they're taking a really slow time learning it and comprehending it, you can spend more time on that topic. That way they can fully comprehend the material and understand it before you move on to the next thing that you need to work at. Another pro of homeschooling is the safety and health of the children. With homeschooling, the children are at home, so you don't have to worry about bullying in school, school shootings, bomb threats, and other sick kids. You're at home in your own space, at your own household, and so you don't have to worry about the public schooling aspect of it. But there are some cons to homeschooling, and these include that it can be more costly, especially depending on the curriculum that you choose. If it's a more in-depth curriculum, a lot of times it is more costly than if it's not as in-depth. Also, for public schooling, there's grants, benefits, scholarships that you can get to help pay for it. But with homeschooling, it's harder to get those grants and scholarships and benefits if there are any. Another con with homeschooling is that it takes a lot more time and dedication from the parents. They're the teachers. They have to teach their children and help them with homework, as well as preparing lesson plans. Whereas if you send your child to a public school, you don't have to prepare the lesson plans and teach your child. You just have to help them with homework when they come home from school with that homework. Another con with homeschooling is there's less social interaction with other peers their age. But there are ways to overcome this. You can get involved in certain activities outside of homeschooling that can help your child or you to be involved and get that social interaction as well. And now I'll talk about some of the pros and benefits of public schooling. And these include that it allows the parents to work outside of the home. They're able to go get a job and work during the time that their child is in school. Another pro is that public schooling offers more extracurricular activities. And not necessarily more, but it's easier. It's right there. It's right at the school that they're already at. And a lot of times it's right after school as well. So the kids can stay after school and go to their extracurricular, and then their parent can come pick them up. But with homeschooling, there's so many different things that you can get involved in. You can get involved in camps, arts, sports, music, like choir, band, there's a lot of different things that you can get involved in for homeschooling as well. It's just not as close. It's not right there and like easy access for the students and also parents as well. There are also cons and downfalls of public schooling as well, and the main one being the safety and health. When you're at a public school, you deal with school shootings, bomb threats, public bullying from other students, and that kind of thing, which you still deal with bullying in homeschooling. You can deal with cyberbullying, that kind of thing, but at public schooling, it's a lot more likely to happen. Another thing is the germs and health. When you're in public, at a public school, there's always the possibility that you'll pick up germs and a sickness from other children or peers in the school that you're going to. Another con of public schooling is the scheduling. There's a very strict schedule. You have to be there at a certain time, have your child there at a certain time, be there for a certain amount of time, and get picked up at a certain time. So it's very strict, and sometimes it can be really hard for parents to work their work schedule around that timing, around that schedule, since it is so strict. And this makes it really hard to work around things too, like doctor's appointments, because you can't teach the child those lesson plans later in the day. They'll just miss out on them for the day. Another thing too that is a con for public schooling is the distractions and focus. Since there's so many other students and peers around, it causes for more distractions and for children to lose focus on what they are supposed to be doing. Next, I want to talk about ways you can be most effective if you choose homeschooling as your schooling option. And the main thing is you need to research the curriculum and learn about the requirements. You need to do research on the curriculum and figure out which one will be best for you and your needs and your child and their needs. As well as finding out the requirements, you need to find out about state testing, what those requirements include, other kind of testing, as well as course material, like different subjects that are a requirement, especially if they're going on to secondary education, such as college. You need to figure out what they need to have completed before they graduate. Another thing is you need to create a space and schedule for homeschooling. You need to create a space such as a desk and work area, as well as a schedule. A schedule really helps to be able to focus and get things done in a timely manner. When there's a schedule, it kind of helps you to set a pace as well. Even though the pace may be faster for some and slower for others, it still helps to set that pace. Another thing is to get involved in homeschooling groups. I recommend Facebook. There are a lot of homeschooling Facebook groups. This helps with having an outlet for resources, social interaction, information, everything like that. It really, really helps to have a connection with others who are doing homeschooling. It helps for the parents as well as the children. In this speech, I talked about homeschooling versus public schooling and effective ways that to make homeschooling be the most beneficial. And my goal was to just inform you about these pros and cons, as well as to help you maybe make a decision later on. And whenever you're considering the two options, I really hope that you consider the things that I talked about, and hopefully it will help you or possibly someone else make this decision on whether homeschooling or public schooling is the best option. And if you choose homeschooling, how to make it most effective for you, your child or children, or someone else.